Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? What's happening? What's good? What's good, everybody? Listen, uh, I didn't actually get my thing to go on, so I guess we're gonna just go right into it. I have my intro and ready, and my intro didn't pop off like it's supposed to. But hey, we are here. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rico Report. And if you guys can hear me, if you guys are here with me, hit that, smash that. You guys already know what time it is. Hold on, let me switch things up. And here we are. Now we're live and ready to roll. What's good, people? And I'll let the room fill in a little bit. It's Friday night. Normally I'm with my guy Z-Bot, but listen, the baby's coming sooner than he knows it's coming. I mean, you know how it is. If you've had children and you've had, you know what I mean, nine months to cook that thing in the belly. Sometimes those things come in just like this, right? So he's spending a lot more time with wifey just before he time. So I told him, listen, this is the time to bond and do this thing. So your boys got it locked down. So you handle family business, and that's why. I mean, that's my brother, man. So you go do what you got to do, brother, and I got this. So, folks, welcome back to another edition, and it's Falcons week. Falcons week. How do we feel about the Falcons week? Are we nervous? Are we excited? Sometimes I got to check my mic just to make sure I can hear myself. Good, good, good. Are we feeling excited about this matchup, or is this one of those situations where you just want to let it play out and just let's see where it takes us? How is this gonna pan out for us? So my man said, "Yo, Rico," he says, "Yo, play my song by the Brothers Johnson." Not right now, brother. We gotta get into some stuff, man. So Luis comes in and says, "I'm nervous about this game." Well, this is the big thing for me. And by the way, I'm gonna be joined a little later by my man Thigh Doc. We didn't do our injury report on the Wednesday. Obviously, some things came down, and life happens. So he will probably be joining me in just a little bit. So that's why I moved my show a little later, just so we can catch each other live on this. But anyway, let's get into it. This Falcons game. This Falcons games. What does it mean to you when you think about all the things that we're going to be facing, the players that we'll be facing, uh, the guys that are banged up currently on our team? What is it that stands out to you guys about this game? Obviously, the obvious answer, I think we all can assume that we know that the number one priority is this Bills run game. I'm not even going to just put it on this Bills run game. This Bills defense must contain, because you ain't gonna stop this, brother. You got to contain Bijan Robinson. Bijan, he says. You know what I mean? It's not Bijan, it's Bijan. We've got to contain Bijan Robinson. Stopping him is far too tough to do, right? But you got to contain him. And if you can keep him at bay, keep him, you know what I mean, from slicing and dicing, and it's easier said than done, then I'm not saying we have a shot, but we have an opportunity to control this game, because that's what you want, is essentially control the game, where you are in total control. You're putting up the points that you need to. You're getting these guys to be in third and long. You're saying third. I mean, get them into that third and long, third six, third seven, third eight, third and beyond that. That's what you want. So it forces them to put them in these positions. But the key piece in this is obviously Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson, because not only does he run the ball extremely well, but he catches the ball well. I think he's their third best receiver. Like, they got Drake London, they got Kyle Pitts. I mean, Darnell Mooney's been hurt. They don't go to their third receiver. It's Bijan Robinson. That's the guy that they put out there and catching footballs and making fits. And I saw a stat somewhere on X where he has like 4 receptions of 20 yards, something of that nature. And forgive me if I'm wrong with that. And we don't even have that on our squad, right? So he's known for big chunk yards. He's known for his ability to catch something and make something of it. We've seen it. We saw it the first game of the year with these guys, and that's just what he does. He does that extremely well. So that being said, That's one of the first priorities that we wanna take care of. Now, it's not as simple, and I tried to do as much research as I could today. I can't say as much, but I tried to kind of cram in as much as I could on the challenges that the Bills will face offensively and the challenges that they'll face defensively. So I wanted to before we getting into this, I wanted to share what are we getting into what are we getting into, and what do we know about these Atlanta Falcons? Well, listen, Raheem Morris, their head coach, he's had some opportunities in this league before, and so he's got these boys coming off of a bye. So they've had time to kind of focus on what these Bills are made of, what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and he's had some time to have his team prepare for us. So obviously, with Raheem Morris, defensive backs coach turned head coach, so he knows a thing or two in regards to what I mean, preparing his team and getting these guys ready. Right, their offense. Oh, let me get my notes ready. Their offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson. Zach Robinson is, I guess you could say, a disciple of McVay. Spent 5 years with the Rams and known as the QB development guy, right? The guy that's got the creative passing schemes and so on and so forth. So anybody that comes from the tree, if you will, of McVay, and as complex as McVay can be, I mean, this guy's a super intelligent guy. So if you were with this guy and you had time to sit in rooms and pick his brain and hear him teach you stuff, you know a thing or two about the around the offensive side of the football, right? Second year as the offensive coordinator, led the Falcons to 14th in offense and DVOA in 2024, and now he's working with obviously with second year player or first year, however you want to look at it, with Michael Penix, right? So that's one thing you want to look at as well. Obviously, he's got Drake London. Drake London was a big time player last year, and obviously, fantasy players were like, "Yo, I got to drop Drake London again." And big boy, man, what is he like 6'3", 6'4"? And I wasn't sure about watching Drake London and knowing about Drake London, but once I started paying attention to the Falcons and seeing what they do, this guy's a big time player. So that's one thing that we're gonna have to deal with, obviously, with the mind of Zach Robinson and scheming his guys open. Kyle Pitts being one of them, Drake London being another. I doubt Darnell Mooney will be playing in this upcoming game. So I can't see him playing. They'll probably give him another week off. You just never know these days. He was limited. And obviously, Bijan Robinson, you got to stop the Bijan Robinson. So Zach Robinson's got a bevy of some offensive pieces that he can move around. Let's not forget, this game is about matchups. It's about matchups and where you can take advantages of matchups. And this is where the Atlanta Falcons will try to take care of the matchups. You got a big time tight end in Kyle Pitts. I know he hasn't had the best statistical year coming into this league, and some were calling this guy a bust. But sometimes it takes the right coach to get you going, and maybe sometimes it's just the right scheme and so on and so forth. So Pitts could present problems, right? Size, speed, and we've got Zach. Obviously, we got Thompson, Shaq Thompson, not known to be a big time cover guy, but you'll have him in coverage. You obviously Taron Johnson will be aiding in that regards. We've been shifting towards a more 4-3 defense, and I mean, and tagging along some nickel. So you know that we're going to mix things up a little bit depending on what they do, obviously. So you will see a lot of Zach Robinson trying to scheme open Kyle Pitts. We have a kind of a banged up Terrell Bernard. Obviously, we're coming in with Milano back on injury, not injury reserve, but he's going to be back on the list of not being able to play. So we're going to have some guys step in. So could Zach Robinson exploit our linebacking crew and getting Kyle Pitts open and doing what he does? This is where we're going to come in. Cole Bishop's going to have his hands full with coming in, and Taylor Rapp and coming in and trying to corral Kyle Pitts. I'm not saying Kyle Pitts is some world beater, but at the same time, you're not messing with a guy that's unathletic. This guy's athletic as they come, big, tall, speed guy, and he's going to have something to prove. The Atlanta Falcons will have something to prove, especially coming off of a bye and facing the big bad Bills that just came off of a loss. So they know that the Bills are reeling right now. They're kind of like, God, we lost that one. So they want to add to that. And there's a lot going into this. I didn't even get to the defense yet, right? So look for that play action, right? Sucking us in to thinking, oh, it's going to Bijan, and then leaving a wide open Kyle Pitts or Drake London, that's going to take a lot of discipline from this defense. So that's why we want to strike first and try to get these guys going. So and let's keep it a book here. You will probably hear Zach Robinson. I mean, his name will be put out there for you head coaching positions, no different than Joe Brady. So you don't have like some nobody that's running the plays out there. And then lastly, you got Jeff Albridge. If you guys remember the scandal about Jeff Albridge, his son, put out I guess the playbook, or I can forget what it was exactly, and cost this guy what was it, like $100,000 if they find him, or they find the team something ridiculous where he kind of leaked it out. I think it was the draft prospects. That's what it was. He leaked out the draft prospects or whatever the case is, and it turns out to be his son that did it. So that's who Jeff Albridge is. Anyway, obviously he's coming back to coach these Falcons, and he's had some success in this game before. He's got an aggressive front. He's got some young guys, a lot of rookies that he's going to be playing. And he's going to be using a lot of their versatility. They're, according to Greg Cosell, I heard Greg Cosell talking about it, that's a fun defense to watch. He says they move, they're fast, they're young, they get after you. So maybe it presents some issues to us, but we have such a strong O-line, it may not even matter. They don't really get after the quarterback like that. Leonard Floyd is nice, but they don't get after you like that. But they will present some challenges along the way. So you got Albrecht that's going to be leading that group of guys, along with some players that we'll get into in just a little bit. So that's what I wanted to touch on, who we'll be facing, right? So Albrecht on one side. What's good, everybody? Shout out to the chat, by the way. I see everybody tune in. So while you guys get in here, smash that like, and you know what it is. Help us out by trying to get this out there to the masses, and so they can kind of tune in and hang out with us tonight, right? So let's get right to it. So Raheem Morris, obviously Jeff Albridge, and obviously Zach Robinson will be leading the way on this squad. So I know some of you guys are asking, well, is Oliver going to be playing? If it's up to him, absolutely, he definitely will be. And that's what it was. He called Shedeur Sanders. That's what it was. I knew it was something to do with, it was around the draft time, and he opened the list and he saw a lot of these contacts. That's what it was. Thank you for that, Cody Benz. Appreciate that, brother. But yeah, man. So like, you guys remember who that coach is. So let's get right into it. What is it going to take for us to beat these Atlanta Falcons, and what are they going to bring to the table? So let's go. Let's look at the stats and metrics on where they're at. So let's start with the Atlanta offense. Through 5 weeks right now, points per game, they're putting up 19 points a game. So it's nothing fantastic. Obviously, we saw that game where I think didn't they get blanket out like 30-0 from the Panthers. It was just an odd game where it was just not working out for Michael Penix, because that's, to me, in this game, that's the X factor. Which one are we going to get? So 19 points a game that these guys are putting up there, that's ranked for 27th. They're putting up 362 yards per game. That's ranked for 7th. So they put up numbers. They can put up numbers. Obviously that 19 points a game, that hurt when they got blanked by the Panthers 30-0. But let's not sleep on this team, because they're a top 10 team in the league by putting up yards, right? They're 15th in the league by yards per play, so 5.5 yards a play, so right smack dab middle. Third down conversions, they're converting on a 41.8%, so that has them for a top 10 offense, which converts on their third down conversions, and they're 50% on fourth down. So I mean, the amount that they have is probably not significant enough for me to really count that, but number 10 in the league, they're top 10. They're 41% conversion on their third downs. We've got to force these boys in third and longs, right? So they're dealing at a decent excuse me, they're dealing at a decent rate. Let me take a drink of water here, boy. They're dealing at a decent rate right now in terms of being able to stretch the plays and give themselves opportunities to keep it rolling, to put points on the board. Red zone scoring percentage. Right now, they're ranked 26th in the league. They're converting at a 46.1% rate. So not great, near the bottom of the league. So like it's a tricky offense, because like you're putting up yards, right? You're converting on your third downs at a decent rate, but you're not capitalizing when you get in the red zone, right? 19 points tells me that there's some blunders there. So that's something that we gotta overall we gotta pay attention to. Now defensively, where do they stack up? So when it comes to opponent points per game, they're ranked number 15, smack dab middle of the league in terms of like yards per play. So that's where they're at. But when it comes to defense and allowing points, they're allowing 21 points, 5 points per game, middle of the pack. This is where the Bills excel. And obviously, we had the anomaly where we put up 20 points against the Patriots, but that's a different team. But they're coming off a bye. They watched what the Patriots did. They got some good corners. They got great safeties with Xavier Watts and Jesse Bates, and they're very intelligent safeties. They're instinctive. So they're going to bait Josh to, you know what I mean? You want to throw it deep? What you trying to do? You trying to go short? You want Kincaid? I'm gonna give you that, because right now, if you know how well Kincaid played last year, you kind of want to feed into that. Well, this Atlanta defense is number 5 in the league in allowing yards to tight ends and catches to tight ends. So they're pretty damn good at taking away the middle of the field or tight ends in particular. So if we're trying to double up on that, we might have to, you know what I mean, really pay attention and scheme these guys open. This is where Joe Brady comes in, but that's a whole nother ballgame when I get there. So defensively for the Atlanta Falcons, we're looking at 21.5 points allowed per game. Their opponent yards per game, according to team rankings, 244 yards per game, which is number 1 in the NFL. So they're not allowing a whole lot of yards per game. So they're a stingy defense. Now, I want to go and just double check that to make sure that's accurate, because you need multiple sources. When I saw that, I was like, okay. So that being said, like I said, there could be a stingy little defense, right? Greg Cosell says they're a fun defense to watch. So which has me interested in how they defend and what they do. So that's what I'm very much looking into. Let me just go look at the team stats really quickly while I have you guys with me. And when it comes to yards, I just wanted to just make sure, am I seeing this correctly? I need to make sure I'm seeing all this correctly. So right now, let me see. So the Atlanta Falcons defensively, let me see what's going on. So scoring, I already told you where they're at in terms of scoring, statistically where they're sitting at. But the Atlanta Falcons with yards, they're saying 244 yards per game. That's what they're allowing. So that's good for number 1 in the league. So they can get pretty stingy. They can get quite stingy. So and I like Greg Cosell, man. Greg Cosell, he don't fluff you. He doesn't give you the nonsense. He gets right to it. That's what it is. That's what I've seen, and I trust a lot of the stuff that he says. So that being said, as of right now, number 1 in the league in allowing these points, yards per game. What are we looking at? They're number 3 in the league in opponent yards per play. They're number 6 in the league in third down defense, allowing 34% in defending third down. So they're not a bad defense. If I'm not allowing a whole lot of yards, I'm not allowing a whole lot of conversions, and I'm allowing 4.7 yards per play. 4.7 yards per play. Obviously, them having one less game plays a factor in this, so I do know that. But nonetheless, their defense isn't too bad at all. Not bad at all. Third down, 34%. Red zone, fourth down conversions, they're 28. So they're putting guys in third downs and stopping them. They're not doing so well in the fourth down. So 4th and 1, 4th and 2, they don't convert very well. They're not doing well defensively. So that's where the Bills can take full advantage. They're ranked 28th in the league. Red zone defense, what they're 66%. They're ranked 25th in the league in red zone defense. So they can be had in that spot right now. But opponent TDs per game, because obviously they're pretty stingy on defense, they're number 5. So I find that fascinating, because this is why I said matchups matter. This is going to be a matchup type game. So going up against these guys, they're stingy in these moments where third downs, they're pretty on top of things, whether they're getting after it or not. You got smart, instinctive safeties that maybe make you change your mind. And if you want to hit that first read, now they took it away. Now you got to go to your second and third read. So maybe it's not where you want it to be. So those are things that you want to pay attention to. Billy Bowman was a guy that I thought the Bills were going to definitely draft. And the Atlanta Falcons grabbed him. So they got something nice with Billy Bowman. But this is a good team overall, folks. I just want to grab a couple statistics for you guys, just so you have an idea of who we're facing. Because a lot of times the AFC East, your AFC teams like crazy. But when it comes to NFC teams, you kind of know by, you know what I mean, word of mouth and seeing some highlights here and there. But you don't know who, you know what I mean, who really their starters. So Darnell Mooney is usually their number 2 guy that usually handles business if it's not Drake London. And right now he's been out. So who's carried the load a little bit has been a little bit of Bijan Robinson. So those are the things that I pay attention to and see, like, who is going to give us fits? Like how is this team going to come out and try to defend? So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing when it comes to this team statistically. So give me a second here. I just want to just have a quick look at this this Falcons squad and seeing who is it that's going to be giving us some issues here. So Michael Penix so far this year has been, I don't want to poo-poo on him, inconsistent. That's the best way I could put it. He's been inconsistent when it comes to quarterback play though so far this year, right? He's got 900 yards passing this year so far. He's a big boy, 6'3", 220. So I mean, he can't see. He's the big lefty. That's going to be you know, trying to throw it down a little bit this coming year. But when it comes to what Michael Penix has done this year, 900 yards. There he goes, 900 yards passing this year. He's throwing at a 7.3 yards per, and he's completing 62% of his passes. So his touchdown to interception ratio is right down the middle. So 3 touchdown passes this year and 3 interceptions. So you got to bait this guy in to making big time errors, right? So right now, that's what we're looking at in terms of what he brings to the table. 82.7% in terms of his QB rating right now, and there's a lot to be. It's like he's a rookie. It's his first year really getting that full start. Kirk Cousins right behind him, so there's some good things that this brother does. Doesn't take too many sacks, right? He's taken about 5 sacks so far this year, as opposed to like Tua Tagovailoa that's got 11 this year. So and Cam Ward's taking 19. So for the most part, he's elusive enough to get out of there and kind of see that we're going to have to really scheme and stop this guy. So here are my biggest issues right now. And I'm going to flip over to the offensive side of the Bills. In order for these Bills to really have success going into this game, in my opinion, it's really going to stand on Joe Brady for me. That's what it comes down to. And I don't want to hear someone tell me, but we're scoring 30 points a game, Rico. What are we talking about? Right? It was just a bad game against the Patriots. Like, what are we talking about? No. I want to see how this guy bounces back, especially when your head coach calls you out. Whether you want to call it a call out or not, I call it a call out. When your coach tells you you're being too cute, get back to the basics. You know your coach is an old school type coach. Run the football, stop the football. And when I say stop the football, like stopping the run and really giving back the ball to the offense. But you have such an elite player on the squad. I want to see how Joe Brady bounces back. How do you respond? That's what I need to see. How does Joe Brady respond? And the same pressures that are on the Philadelphia Eagles with Patullo, I think that's his name. There's a lot of pressure on Patullo because everybody's been calling him out for inconsistent offensive play. And the Eagles just took their 2nd loss in a row. They lost a close one last week, and the Giants came in and just waxed that ass. Pardon my language, but they waxed that behind. And I didn't expect that to happen. I thought the Eagles would come in and bounce back and be pissed off and take care of the Giants. And the Giants looked like the team that was the better team. They look like the team that should be leading the NFC East. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo coming in, and just the 2 rookies coming in and handling business. And they don't even have Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is not everything. I think Darius Slayton was out. They're dealing with Jalen Hyatt and Wan'Dale Robinson. And no disrespect to these guys, but you got the rookie and a rookie running back handling business. So they needed to see, how is Patullo going to bounce back and how is he going to look? How did he look? You had two of your best receivers on the sideline with their hands crossed like this, right? There's a play that's all over the internet right now of a slant that was supposed. I mean, it was a post. It was like a little skinny post on the inside, right? That should have went to the read. Should have went to my man AJ Brown, but he decided to go to Dotson, and that thing got picked off and almost taken back for 6. So I bring this up because there's a tremendous amount of pressure on Patullo because they're not running the ball well. They're clearly not passing the ball well, and it's not just on Patullo; it's on the execution of their quarterback. So it's Patullo and Jalen Hurts. So now let's bring it back to the Bills. You just took an L to the Patriots. Some folks are kind of saying, hey, man, that offense looked a little shaky. Didn't look great. We didn't run the ball well that game. And if Josh were to tell you, I didn't have a good game that game, and let's just chalk it up that we didn't play well. And I would agree. I think we can all agree. So now, how do you bounce back against the Atlanta Falcons that just had a bye week and that have had the whole week to prepare just for you? They've had 2 weeks knowing that they were going to play your team. So not only have they been preparing for you, they've been preparing for what Joe Brady does. Now they've had all week to watch you. They saw how you played against the Patriots. Bro, they're going to be ready. So how does Josh Allen bounce back? And how does Joe Brady bounce back? The Bills don't take many back-to-back losses. Coach McDermott is 15-4, right? He's 15-4 when he's lost the previous game, and then what's his record when he plays the next one? 15-4. So he doesn't lose many games when he's already lost one. So the trend is these guys will bounce back, but we're banged up. We got some guys banged up, and we got some guys that that are going to be looking to set some things straight. But my biggest gripe right now is with Brady and Josh Allen, and how will those two get back on the same page and start getting these guys ready to go? Because there's some good football players on this Atlanta Falcons team. They're not a bunch of scrubs that most folks might think, oh, we don't know a whole lot of guys on the squad. That's a pretty decent squad. So what I'm looking forward to is, how are these guys going to stack up? What are we going to see from the Atlanta Falcons? What are they going to do? And how will the Bills obviously come back in? So their draft class was a pretty decent draft class. Jalen Walker, the linebacker out of Georgia, is beginning some playing time. A good player, learning a lot. James Pierce Jr., by the way, getting a lot of playing time. So you will see him. And those are 2 first-round draft picks. And then they stole Xavier Watts. That's been excellent. And by the way, Jesse Bates says this guy is as smart as they come. And Jesse Bates is one of the better safeties in the game. And he's telling you, don't sleep on the Notre Dame safety, Xavier Watts. That boy is nice. So you got both those boys in the back. You got, obviously, Billy Bowman getting some playing time here. So they had a decent draft, man. They had a good little draft. So this is going to be a big test for the Bills. And it sounds crazy for me. Oh, it's a big test for the Bills. Yes, it is. Yes, it absolutely is going to be a big test for these Bills to see where they come. And the biggest thing that they got to handle is containing Bijan Robinson. 4 games so far this year, 64 carries. He's got 314 yards. He's running at a 5 yards a carry. He's at 4.9 plus. He's had some big runs this year. He's rushing for 78.5 yards a game. We don't defend the run very well. So if he's already running for almost 80 yards a game, bro, tag on another 25. So we need to make sure that we handle that. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, Bijan Robinson is their leading receiver. He's got 270 yards receiving. He's got 18 receptions. The leading receiver on the squad is Drake London, followed by Kyle Pitts, then followed by Bijan Robinson. But he leads them in all yardage. Those are the 3 guys right now that we are going to have to handle in the pass game. So this is a big time. This is a big time game for us to really dig our hands, dig our feet in, and find out, okay, what's this team about? What is this team about? And now you got a very intelligent Jesse Bates that leads his team in 24 tackles. You got Caden Ellis, that's been a name that I've been seeing a lot, that's getting out there. And so far this year, he's got a sack and a half. Their leading sack Their leading sacker is Zach Harrison, and they've got Leonard Floyd, next guy up with 1.5 sacks. So far this year they've got 10 sacks altogether, and you can tell because they're a stingy defense. They're the number one team in allowing yards per game. So this offense is going to have to do it. And the guy I'm paying attention to the most is Joe Brady. And I hate to say it, but that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. Now, what is also not normal is James Cook running for 49 yards. You don't see that happen often, and I don't think that's going to happen again. So I think this is where the Bills will establish themselves by obviously getting back to the fundamentals. I think Coach calling Brady too cute is going to allow him to get back to it. I hope it doesn't become like a rift between the two. I think coach has to be able to be critiqued and say, hey, man, let's get back to it. This is my team. I run this team, but I need you to kind of understand where we're at. I'm going to let you do what you do, but understand, let's not get too cute here. Let's run the football. Let's do what we do best, and let's go. And we do the power run very well, and I hope to get back to that. They don't have any guys that are like crazy names that's going to be giving us some fits, but they're not a slouch team either. So they do have some big time players on that squad that play well and that do great things, and that's what I'm looking for. So Zach Harrison is one of their better players on the squad, and obviously you're gonna see a lot of Leonard Floyd getting in there. Middle linebacker Kane Ellis, he's a good solid player. You got Diablo that's gonna be in there. Used to play a little safety, now he's back out there. They're a light team. They're not a big heavy team, right? AJ Terrell, he's questionable, so we don't know what he's going to play. I'm going to go through the defensive, who's going to be missing, who's not going to be missing. Jesse Pace and Xavier Watts. So that's a good squad. That's a good squad. Billy Bowman playing that nickel. They got some young players playing, man. I love a team that has no problems playing their young players. I like it. Now, when it comes to who's playing and who's not playing, let me just, I lost my notes there. Let me get right back to it. So who's playing and who's not playing for these Atlanta Falcons? So when it comes to, let me get there we go. When it comes to who's a part of the injury report with these guys. So right now, limited was their Cardell Hodge. He's going to be limited. They got cornerback AJ Terrell. He's going to be limited. So usually when they're limited by Friday, there's a good chance they're going to be playing. Natron Brooks, another cornerback. He's got a concussion shoulder. He was limited as well. Now, who did not participate? Obviously, Darnell Mooney. I don't think he's going to be playing. I think they're going to give him another week off. And Clark Phillips, another cornerback. He didn't participate. So that's what it's looking like. So as of yesterday, that's who was on the injury report for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, as for the Bills, I don't know if you saw the latest in terms of who is going to be in and out. And let me share my screen so I can show y'all what will be taking place, because some interesting things, if you saw some guys that I did not think that would be on this list were absolutely on that list. And let me just post this up for you guys so you can see it for yourselves. Give me a moment. Let me cue that bad boy up. And you guys will see what I see, because this is a long list. Last week, the list that we saw was quite short. And then when I look at what's going on here, I was like, what? We got some new names on this board, right? So if you're looking at what I see, Deion Dawkins with limited, he'll be full, so I'm sure he'll be ready to go. Damar Hamlin, I found that odd, so something must have happened at practice. He's limited. He didn't practice on Friday, so who knows what's going to happen with that. Do you care? No, I don't either. All right, Dalton Kincaid's got an oblique issue. Limited, he'll be ready to go. Matt Milano, we know that he's got a pec injury, so he'll be out. I'm going to get my guy to play a little bit once he gets on. Our guy, Fadak, will kind of break this down for us a little bit more. Ed Oliver, limited. This is great news. I mean, he was limited last week as well, but with the way he was talking in his press conferences and he was asking for the belt, he's ready to get back to it. So we could expect Ed Oliver to return. Taylor Rapp was limited. He had a nose issue, so he'll be ready to go. I know they got to put everything on here. That's crazy. Curtis Samuel with a rib and neck and rib injury. So he was limited on Thursday and didn't practice on Friday. So what's that tell us? Will we see Elijah Moore back on the active list and Curtis Samuel put on the inactive list? They don't know what they're doing with those two. Now, they got these boys just going back and forth. So call it what you want. I don't like it. Find the guy that you like and stick with him. And if the other guy's not doing enough for you in practice, so be it. But right now, that's what you got. Then you got TJ Sanders that deal with a knee and did not practice. So you can expect him to be out. Obviously, it's swapped in because you'll get obviously Ed Oliver back. So Ed Oliver and Deion Walker, you're going to see a lot of that tandem together. And then lastly, Dorian Williams had a full participation on Friday. So look to see Dorian Williams back on the field. So, but that's a long list. I didn't anticipate to see that list as long as it was in that regards. So that's one thing that I'll be paying attention to quite a bit going there. So I got a question from my man Koala Bear. Says, yo, Atlanta run defense is suspect. Atlanta's run defense. I mean, listen, I'm gonna see if I have the statistics up there. Okay, so Atlanta's run defense. I'll give you an idea. Because to say that it's suspect, well, I'll tell you right now. So right now they run the ball 48% of the time. So it's a rush play 48% of the time offensively for the Atlanta Falcons. Teams are running against them 45% of the time. All right, so that's ranked 23rd. So that tells me I ain't afraid of your front. I am going to run the football on you. And that's what the Bills are going to be doing. So when it comes to opponent yards per rush, they're allowing 4.6 yards a game. So right now, James Cook is running for nearly 5, if not more than that. So he's around the 5 mark. So we'll have some success doing that. But here's what's interesting. 23 rushes per game allowed by the opponent. So that's ranked 7th. That depends on how we want to distribute our run game, right? They're allowing 109 yards per game on this team. So that's ranked 16th. So middle of the pack. So they're not elite, but they're not terrible. And opponent rushing touchdowns per game, they're allowing 1 rushing touchdown per game, less than that, 0.5. So that's ranked for number 7 in the game. Granted, they've only played 4 games. So defensively defending the run, that's where they rank. But here's the interesting part. This is where things get dicey. Their passing defense, the Atlanta Falcons passing defense, they're obviously teams are throwing 54% of them. Okay. When it comes to completion percentage, they're number 1 in defending. So their quarterbacks, players, obviously quarterbacks that are throwing against them are completing 57.69% of their passes. I can assume that Josh Allen is going to surpass that, but they're giving enough fits. So that's great safety play, some decent cornerback play, and some schemes that kind of pressure guys to get in. They play a lot of, so what I'm understanding, they play a lot of nickel. They play a lot of nickel, not a lot of dime, but a lot of nickel and a lot of 4-3-D. So, but they spend a lot of time in nickel. So run the freaking football, right? That's the way I look at it. Run though. You want to play some nickel? Oh yeah, you're gonna run it. Get Reggie Gilliam out there, and we're gonna run this damn football. But they're defending the pass in terms of completion percentage at 57.69. Opponent yards per pass 5.8. That's good for number 2 in the league. Opponent passes per game, 26 passes per game. That's ranked for number 1. Opponent pass yards per game, 135. Hell no. Ain't no way. We're going to be throwing a lot more than that. We're going to be throwing all over the yard. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we're going to get in that. And opponent interception thrown per game, they're ranked for number 8, 2.8%. And then percentage per sack. The Atlanta defense against the pass, 8.77%. That's ranked for number 6 in the game. So that passing defense, not bad. That's not bad at all. So this is why I say this is going to be a Brady type of like game where we're like, what's Joe Brady made of? What is Joe Brady made of? Koala Bear says, yo, the Falcons is number 1 in blitzing. All right, and that's another thing I know. They blitz a lot. They're going to blitz. So I love it when teams blitz against Josh Allen because Josh Allen is very great at eluding it and finding his guys downfield. But it comes down to receivers doing their job and what is Joe Brady going to do? How is he going to scheme his guys? Who is he going to feature? And does he continue to feature this guy until they stop? So as much as the Falcons are an unknown team to us, bro, they defend the pass quite well. And they're not bad in defending the run. They're middle of the pack. So this is going to be a good test for these Bills coming up this week. So you got to love that. By the way, I got to give a shout out to my man, Cody Benz. He's showing some love. He gave me he's giving me one of these and a heart. So appreciate you, my G. Love that. Love that super chat. So knowing what you've heard from me, Does this does this does it do you find that interesting? Do you find it like, ooh, I didn't realize that the Falcons are like that. Like it's not there's not a bad little squad. No, they're a good team. That's a good squad. And they're gonna be, and this is the biggest factor. They're not looking to lay down after having a bye week ready to go for the Buffalo Bills. This is a tough matchup. As much as people want to talk about, oh, the Bills have one of the easiest schedules in the game. Yeah, that's cool. But we're about to hit the road, Jack. We're about to hit the road for quite a bit. So this is where we start to get that stretch of games. Obviously, we play the Chiefs at home. We're gonna get this game in. Then we're gonna have our bye. That I think we get the Panthers, and then we get the Chiefs after that. But we're on the road, Atlanta. Then we're on the road again to the Panthers, and then home for the Chiefs. So those are the things that I'm paying attention to and seeing how this plays out. Now, passing defense, pretty good. They're passing offense, and this is where our defense comes in. Like, where does it stand? And by the way, I'm going to get my man in here in just a moment. We'll talk about these injuries in just a moment. So they're throwing, they're pretty balanced, right? They're throwing 51% of the time, and which is ranked for 27th in the league. Completion percentage 62%, like I told you from Mr. Penix. 7.2 yards is 7.2 yards a pass is obviously ranked for 15th in the league. They're passing the ball 33 times. So that tells me they're going to be throwing the ball a lot because we're going to be scoring a lot. So they're going to be trying to catch up. So hopefully that's the position that we put them in to pass the football a lot. So that's 13th. They throw the ball a lot. And passing yards per game, 226. That's ranked for 13th. So, middle of the pack, a little better than middle of the pack. Interceptions thrown, 2.2%. He's ranked for 21st. And QB sack percentage, 3.6. So they don't get sacked a lot. And they're ranked for number 6 in the league. So things to pay attention to. Now, how do they deal with turnovers? Are they forcing turnovers? Do they give the football up? So this is where this comes in this game, right? So the turnover margin, they're ranked for number 10.03 offensively. So they're not giving the ball a lot, right? It's 3-3, right? 3 touchdown passes. He's got 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions that he's given up from Michael Penix. Giveaways, 1.3 per game. They're ranked for 19th in the game. Takeaways, offensively, by the way, 1.5, which is 8 in the league. And let's go to the defensive side of the ball. So they're a top team in turnover margin, right? They're at -3, so that's not bad. I mean, you know where the Bills rank. I'll give you the Bills ranking in just a little bit. They're number 5. Excuse me, my glasses ain't on. Number 8 in the league with takeaways per game, and then they're 1.3 takeaways per game. So that's ranked for 19. So they take the ball away. So they got 1 to 2 takeaways per game. That's what they're averaging right now. So Josh has got to hold on to the game. We've got 2 games where we have turned the ball over. 2 straight games of turning the football over. So we got to chill. And this is the game where Josh has to go back to having the mindset of taking care of the football. But something tells me he's trying to unleash that gun a little bit. He's trying to get downfield a little bit. We're not a downfield passing team, which is wild to me because of the cannon this brother has. So I'm just waiting on getting things ready. By the way, Alex, I got you. You can take your time whenever you're ready to come on. Jump on. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Oh, you ready now? All right, let's jump on, man. When you're ready, sit down and let me know. And then we'll get it cracking. Yeah. Hold on. Let me intro. I'm going to intro my guy, and then we'll get it cracking, by the way. So, folks, I'm going to get back into talking about these Atlanta Falcons because I'm interested in what they do and what they do well, what they don't do well. So you kind of got the metrics a little bit. I know it's kind of boring to kind of listen to that, but sometimes those are things that you need to know. What are we walking into? That's a good passing defense, and they got some good players. Don't sleep on Jesse Bates. He will bait you into things, and Josh is smart enough that he won't let that happen. So we're gonna make sure that we take care of business. So that being said, let me jump into introducing our guy, the Thigh Doc. You guys already know what time it is, so we'll be back in just a moment. We'll let this little intro play, and we'll have our injury report with our guy, the Thigh Doc, in just a moment. There he is.
Hey.
Whoa. Where you at? I don't see you in the normal spot that you normally in. Talk to us. Let us know
We're
where
on,
you're at. We want to know.
we're on vacation.
Oh, where you at? You don't
Lake.
gotta tell people if you don't need to.
I'm in Lake Placid.
Lake Placid. You're doing bougie things. Wait a minute. What's that shirt you're wearing?
Oh, this?
Yeah, let's get a zoom in. I need to get right in there. What you got there, brother?
This is the
You
thigh
got the
dance.
thigh? Bro, that's sick. That's sick.
See, this is me in the Gimp Zubas outfit. The main event, the Stormtrooper thigh, and then thigh in this girl.
I like it. Thigh in that girl. All right. Listen, we got injuries to talk about. I need your insight on these. This list is a lot longer than I anticipated for it to be. I don't know if you can see that list very well.
I see it.
Perfect. So let's talk about. I mean, I'm not too worried about Dion Dawkins being on that list. It's just what it is. I'm sure it was just you're saying my thumb hurts. So they wrap that sucker up. He'll be good to go for the game. What stands out to you on this injury report, and what's something that we should be paying attention to that we should be kind of worried about? Anything on this list that stands out to you?
Yeah. So, well, couple of them, right? So TJ Sanders is not going to go.
Right.
That's back-to-back weeks with his knee. Curtis Samuel. I think that's an interesting one because
it is. Talk to me about that one. Like, where'd that come from? That's weird.
We don't know. He came out of the game. They didn't say anything was wrong with him. Then he just showed up on Thursday limited. So the question is, like, did he get hurt in practice or did he get hurt in the game?
That's a tough one. So that's where we
got family here. We got family here.
No doubt about it. It's all good.
Yeah, but the big one's going to be Dalton Kincaid. So obliques are painful, and sometimes they report it as oblique if it's a rib injury too. So if you remember, we had Epinesa with I think they put it as an oblique to begin with, and then he came out and said that it was actually a rib injury. I think that was last year or 2 years ago.
Okay.
So with that said, sometimes these guys miss a week or two with those, but he's already out there in a red non-contact. It's got to be mild. I'm leaning towards he's going to play, just based on how he looks kind of catching the ball and stuff. But they might have put oblique on there, but it's really a rib, and they just want to keep it a little on the shush, so guys aren't targeting him. But I would expect him to come out with one of those rib cage protectors.
I noticed that you also you highlighted that he had his fingers taped up, where we couldn't quite tell if it was taped up or not because his hands were like this. But did you investigate a little bit more?
Someone zoomed in for me, and it wasn't taped. So
okay, good.
Alarm. But I mean, it did kind of look like this. You saw the picture, but it was blurry because it was all white. So, someone else said it was the pinky that he had sprained. So, I got my.
Either way, he's gonna be ready to go.
What's up?
Either way, he'll be ready to go. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about his hand at all. I mean, the oblique injury, if anything, is going to hold him back. That's what it's going to be.
Well, it's good to see Dorian Williams back on the list. He's a full go, so we should see him back onto the field. Taylor Rapp with the nose. I'm not worried about him. No. Ed Oliver, talk to us. You had something interesting to say about Ed Oliver, in terms of like something to the nature of like, will he play or is he saying he can play or won't play? What are your thoughts on what he's saying and his designation that we see in this practice report?
Yeah. So Ed says he's playing. I would expect him to play at this point too, but he did say it's not right. So it's still bothering him, but he's going to play. So
he's going to tough it out.
Here's the deal. Now, we got three. Can you see behind me?
All right, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead, just give me a minute. We're on a family vacation here.
So, all good, brother. You got it. You good.
So we're having fun. So, okay. So, speaking of Ed Oliver, yeah. So we only got 3 healthy defensive tackles, and that would be including him. So I'm worried. I'd be worried that here. Let me cut out for 1 second.
He's gonna try to tell the boys to chill out, man. Daddy's busy and y'all messing around. But that's what kids do when you're on vacation, man. Don't let the kids be kids, brother. but I'm glad that I'm gonna get him back in. There you go. All right.
Yeah, the little boys love me. So Ed Oliver, we've got 3 healthy defensive tackles because Sanders is going to be out. They're going to have to call up a practice squad. What I'm worried about is that his ankle's not right. What if he gets jacked up? He comes out. Now you're running 3 D tackles for the rest of the game. So I'm a little concerned, but I don't think he'd go in there if he couldn't pull it off. We talked about things you could do to help with the pain management, but there's a bye week coming up after this, so I'm assuming it's going to be sore since he's saying it's not perfect, but he'll at least have 2 weeks to recover and come back and play Carolina after the bye.
Would it be a shock to you if by the time that they're ready to go, you hear, oh, we've called up Jordan Phillips and we've called up Mathis again,
Yeah.
and Ed Oliver sits out again? Would you be shocked if this happened?
I'd be surprised if that happens, but I would not be surprised if they call up 2 D tackles and they roll with 5, assuming that he's,
okay,
high risk.
Okay. Yes, I understand that part.
He kind of put the stamp on it. I expect him to play. So let's see what Ed's got, baby.
Listen, I'm with you. I see everything that you're seeing. I see the same thing. And he seems confident. And typically teams, especially like a guy like McDermott, would rather them not say anything. Just be quiet. Let me do my coach speak and let you know, maybe not, maybe so. Who knows what it is? And then we go from there. But he was confidently speaking like, I'm playing, bro. I don't care what y'all talk about.
Yeah.
Belt to add, like, I'm playing. So love to hear that news. Now, let's talk about our corner Max Harrison. I know there was a lot of conversation happening about, you mean 21-day window, and there's no point in activating that 21-day window when you can take full advantage of this bye week coming through and so on and so forth. He's been out long enough. At this point, I mean, I don't know the injury. You'll have a better idea of that happening. What are the odds that he's just shut down for the year?
No.
And they say, you know what, it's not good. We're shutting down for the year, because they really haven't had any conversations about bringing him back. They haven't opened that window yet. Obviously, there's no need to open the window because that bye week's coming. So why pigeonhole yourself? What are your odds of seeing him play in uniform this year?
100%.
Everything you've seen and on film and everything?
Yeah, I mean, he looks good. He's doing drill. He's doing more than your usual sideline drill.
Okay.
On the sideline, he's cutting, pivoting, catching balls. I guarantee they're playing this because they want to get him practice reps and they don't want to pull him out before the bye. Now, don't get me wrong, an LCL injury is no joke, and usually guys have to come back with a brace. But he's a cornerback, so it's touchy. Do you want to push him out there with a brace on? I don't know. But I would say it took him about 8 weeks to get healthy enough to do some field drills. I think we would be approaching 10 weeks come the bye week, and then let's go. I don't see any issues with him on the sideline. He's not grabbing his knee. He's in a slimmer brace. Guys do wear protection on their knees for, up to 3 months on a high grade sprain. But I could see him coming off at about the 12-week mark.
So when you see him working and you see that big brace on his leg,
yeah,
nothing to really worry about. It's just more for stability and so on. It's like, wouldn't you think that, okay, by now take it off and let's get going? Or the fact that it's still on, does it show you that maybe he's further away from coming back than he is returning, than staying out?
In regards to the brace, no, he's wearing a very low. Well, it looks kind of big there.
It does.
But it looked like, yeah, it did. I was pretty confident he was in the playmaker brace because he was able to put it under the spandex. You can't do that with the heavy duty DonJoys. This, not gonna lie, this looks a little bigger than last week.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
So something to pay attention to, because this is your live look at this one right here. So it's like, that's a big brace. Did he
it doesn't matter. Back? He's still in the brace, and you know what? BS or not, someone went on WGR this week, said he saw his family, and they said he's coming back week 10. So listen, in my opinion, an LCL shouldn't take 3 months. It should take in football shape. I think the team has a history of slow playing their rookies. They know he hasn't had the practice reps. They want to open this window. You have the conundrum where the bye week would cut into his practice time.
Yes,
so if they had opened it up, he would run into the problem where one of his 3 weeks to practice, they wouldn't be practicing. So now if they just wait until they can open it up after the bye, he'll get the full 3 weeks and then let him go. He doesn't have to play at week 10 when he's first available after the 3 weeks of practice. They could still make him a healthy inactive and get him another week of practice. But I think it's going to happen right around that time.
All right. So injuries aside, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the opponent's injury list. I'm not sure if you have or not. If not, not a big deal. I kind of touched on it just a little bit. Have you had a look at it or no?
At what?
At the Atlanta Falcons injury list.
Yeah, I think just Mooney, their second receiver, is the only one who is like a high level player who's at risk here.
Right. And I mean, listen, let the kids be kids, man. That's what they do, baby. Yeah. You gotta love it. So football related now, injuries aside, this Atlanta Falcons team, couple things that you're going to be looking forward to wanting to see, whether it's coming from an individual, whether it's coming from a scheme matter, whether it's coming where you want, what things are you looking forward to seeing? And does this Atlanta Falcon team worry you in any way?
Yeah. So it looks like Penix doesn't like take a lot of pressure. So someone put up a stat today that said he's good at not letting pressure build up. But when you look at that stat, all the top guys, Lamar, Allen, Mahomes, they're creating pressure amongst themselves is the highest. But I think that's because they like to make plays. They know how to extend the plays to make them. So
right.
Penix might be a situation where here, mute me for 1 second.
I got you. So while he's gonna yell at his kids, be like, "Yo, listen, man, let the kids be kids, baby. Let the kids be kids." I like that he mentioned Michael Penix because he doesn't give me the impression as one guy that stresses. I mean, listen, 4 games, thrown 3 TD passes, 3 interceptions, 900 yards. He's got a rushing TD. He's not a statue. He's definitely not a statue. He's one guy that's going to get out there. So I was mentioning that he's not a statue. He's going to get out there. So pressure may not get to him because he's mobile enough that he can kind of move out the way and kind of get going. Is that what you mean by pressure not getting to him?
Sounds like he gets the ball out quick. I haven't watched any Atlanta Falcons football. The only guy who scares me is Bijan Robinson. Okay.
As he should.
It looks like he gets rid of the ball quick based on the lack of pressure and him letting the pressure, him being the reason the pressure occurs. Like a stat that with Tua is very low in. So even though our team is good at getting these quick pressures, teams that get the ball out quick, it neuters that skill. So like how many times do we sack Tua? Not often until late in the game. Maybe we show him something different. With that said, I expect him to get some quick passes off, but I don't want Bijan to eat us up. Obviously, the run game is our kryptonite. We're getting Ed Oliver back. That's going to be a huge help, but we'll see if it moves the needle. Because if they could if they get the run game going, you know, there's going to be a close game. The spread's not that big. It's 3.5. Vegas knows something's up. So, but again, getting Ed Oliver is huge. He does move the metrics on the run game, which is real important. And the dude Walker, the rookie, Deon Walker, kid's playing phenomenal. And, you know, it's real good to see. But again, we're going to be down a D tackle. So we're going to have another practice squad call up. So we'll see how that looks on the second D line.
It certainly does. Well, listen, before you get out of here, because I know you're on vacation, so I'm not going to take too much of your time.
Yeah, I'm rattled. I'm rattled by the kids right now.
Don't be rattled, man. Be a quarterback. Instead of you getting pressure, what kind of quarterback would you be? You'd be trash, bro. I need a guy that can handle the pressure. Okay. If you're going to give us a score prediction, Bills on the road, coming off of a loss, a tough loss to the Patriots. Yeah. You have a team that's been on a bye, that's been preparing for you. Great run game, one of the best running backs in the game. Top 3 for sure. Score predictions, what do you got for this Atlanta Falcons Bills team? Are the Bills going to bounce back with a W, or is it one of those things where it's like, man, we take back-to-back losses and it's a tough one? Is this your trap game?
No, I'm the ultimate homer. I don't think we're going to lose. Something in the high 20s, low 30s, and low to mid 20s for Falcons. Let's say 28-24.
28-24. I like that. You know what? I saw. I think Greg Cosell had that has his
Oh,
score as
no.
well, 28-24, something of that nature. He says the Bills win, but it's going to be a close one. It's not going to be one of those ones where you're like, it's a blowout. If it's a blowout, I'll take it. But
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think, and we'll see. We'll go from there. We just need non-characteristic bad throws from Josh or bad decisions from Josh. We need him to bounce back with some great decisions. So that's the way I look at it. So how are you? Is this just a weekend getaway, or is this a full on? You got a full week off and you're hanging out in the
we got the 3-day weekend. Monday's Columbus Day, so the in-laws like to come out to Lake Placid for 3 days.
There you go. I love it. By the way, so you guys call it Columbus Day, so it's our Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend. So, and you guys have yours back in November. Yours is in November. So
Yeah,
our Canadian Thanksgiving is this weekend.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll be the one cooking the turkey. I do it every year, so I'll be doing the turkey cooking. So we'll get that cracking. So listen, man, enjoy your weekend with the family, with the beautiful family, and have yourself a wonderful Columbus Day, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Are you gonna go ahead?
Still gonna put the report out. So
yes.
everything moves back a week because it's a Monday night. So the game designations won't come out till tomorrow.
Correct.
So I might put it out late tomorrow night if I'm free, which is doubtful, or early Sunday morning. We'll get a little write up on the injury report. ThighDoctor.com.
ThighDoctor.com. And if you're great with pressure, you'll do it Saturday night because the pressure is going to be on. But you said you get rattled, so I'll expect it on Sunday.
Yeah, I just don't trust the Cousins. I was afraid they're going to do something crazy.
I got you, brother. Listen, man, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the family. We'll catch you soon, brother.
Okay, take it easy.
Peace.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. All right, that's my guy, the Thigh Doctor. He came out and pretty much put it out there for us, man. So like, not too much to kind of worry about, honestly. TJ Sanders, we kind of knew that there's a chance he's not going to play, but we also know that my man is coming back. So Ed Oliver returns. So that's going to be a nice boost for this defense. Now, how healthy he is will play a big part in how this game plays out and how to decide to defend Bijan Robinson. Like, honestly, I'm going to keep a buck with you, man. I don't like this matchup. It's going to be way closer than we think. And I just cannot. They're playing with some confidence. They've been playing some good ball as of late. They've had some tough losses, the Atlanta Falcons, but they're coming into this, you know what I mean, ready to rip and ready to go. So I'm not saying I hate it. They're 2-2. They've had some decent wins and they've had some tough losses at the same time. But for the most part, this is a good squad, right? Michael Penix is 7 starts in his career, for crying out loud, right? So this is going to be start number 8 if I'm correct. Kirk Cousins will be backing him up. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, those are one of the 2 better backs in this game. Drake London's going to be obviously playing. I don't think Darnell Mooney is going to be jumping in. So guess what? Ray McLeod. You guys remember Ray? Ray McLeod is going to be making an appearance. So he seems to have a decent role carved out with this squad. So who's going to be the guy that jumps in? Is it going to be Casey Washington? Is it David Sills? So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But I mean, really, if I'm not saying take away this player and that, but this is a bounce back game for this team. And if somebody or a unit is going to have to bounce back and make a name for themselves, it's got to be, I'm looking at 2 players, real talk, on the defensive side of the ball. And I know that I want to get after the defensive front. The defensive front is going to do what they do. Okay. I'm looking at Trey White and I'm looking at Benford. I'm looking at those 2 players to really wash away what they did last week and say, okay, it's done with, but y'all need to step up this week. If I'm looking at anybody on this defense to really clamp down and really be an impact, it has to be the cornerbacks. Drake London has to be a guy that you focus on taking away and now force them to throw into Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. And if we get beat by Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, so be it. But that's a problem. It's also a problem. But those 2 have to make a conscious decision to say, I cannot be passive. I got to go after Drake London and shut him down. Drake London, they move him around. He's a big boy, 6'4". They put him in the slot. They put him on the outside. figure him out. If you have to bracket him, bracket him. But you've got to eliminate the threat of him running all over the yard and doing what he does. We cannot have a Diggs 2.0. You got embarrassed last week at home against the Patriots. You cannot have Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson just going all over the place. We are terrible at tackling. We can't tackle for worth a damn. So them dumping the football out and letting these guys, create and do and get the yak, we've got to secure ourselves and tackle. So taking away Drake London is going to be a big part. Getting the tackles and wrapping up and doing what we need to do will be a big part. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, I don't feel good about it. But we need to see Christian Benford and Trey White step their game up. Last week, they got exposed. I'm sorry, but they did. The whole defensive backfield got exposed. But more specifically, I need to see 47 and 27 be impactful in this game, especially Drake London is your guy. You don't have Darnell Mooney to deal with. Ray-Ray McCloud better not be a thorn in our side. There's no business for him to be a thorn in our side. Drake London is the guy that you bracket, you got to take away. 47 and 27, I'm looking at YouTube. That's my number one thing that I'll be looking for defensively. Offensively, bro, this is the Joe Brady, Josh Allen game. This is the Joe Brady, Josh Allen game. Why? Because of that performance that you put on last week against the Patriots. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good enough. It was lackluster, right? And when your coach calls you out and says you're too cute, gut check time. Look in the mirror. So I'm looking to see how Joe Brady bounces back. How does he scheme his guys open? Find a scheme that works and get your guys open. Josh Allen, execute. Those two guys have to be the guys that really propel this offense into putting those 30-plus points again. Get back on the same page. Josh didn't have his best game. We know that. James Cook, how does he get involved? That's why this is the Joe Brady game for me. How are you going to get your running back involved, and how are you and Josh going to be on the same page? Because I'll tell you right now, most people talk about go out and get that receiver, go out and trade for that receiver. Personally, I don't think that's necessary. How did it work out for us last year when we went and grabbed Amari Cooper? Yeah, but we were putting 7 more points per game or something of that nature. But he wasn't impactful for us. He wasn't at all impactful. So who are we going to trade for this time? I'm not buying it. I think we have the talent already in this offense right now at the receiver position. Josh Palmer, we haven't even unleashed him yet. We haven't even opened him up to actually give him a shot. Keon Coleman, elevate your game. Khalil Shakir, asked to be featured. Like, step up, elevate, bring something to this offense where we can depend on you. You have so much potential to be the Amon-Ra St. Brown type receiver. You have it. We need to see it. But it comes down to offensive coordinator Joe Brady. That's what it comes down to. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this brother bounces back. I'm looking forward to seeing how he and Josh are unison and in one. And making and getting this ball to move against this Atlanta Falcons defense. They're not a bad defense. They're not just going to lay down. Leonard Floyd is a heck of a pass rusher. He's going to be putting some pressure on y'all, right? James Pierce Jr. is on that squad. You got Xavier Watts and Jesse Bates that are going to be instinctively watching what you do. So if you can't scheme open your receivers and it's now just going to be armed talent trying to throw the ball over the yard or just taking these dump offs, bro, we're going to be right back to square one up against the Patriots. The Patriots had 2 great corners locking us down, and then we just didn't know what to do. Well, now you have 2 solid safeties and a good corner. How do you bounce back? How does Joe Brady and Josh Allen bounce back? The answer is not to go out and get a receiver. That's just my personal opinion. We've got the talent already in-house. We have the speed we have the speed in Moore and Curtis Samuel. Scheme them in ways you get them the football and go. It doesn't, the answer is not always a freaking receiver screen. Although they get us positive yards, but that's not the case. Scheme these guys open. Get them into a spot where they can use their speed and agility, for crying out loud. The screen here and a hook here. Bro, find ways for these guys to get their job done. I'm telling you, I'm sure they're hungry to get the football. Ain't nobody settled and happy and content for 3 receptions per game. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I am absolutely done with this. Everybody eats. Everybody eats. Listen, I'm done with it personally. So now somebody has to step up and say, okay, I don't want to eat the same amount as everybody else. I want a little bit more. But who is it? Who is the guy that's going to step up and do it? I'm waiting for it. I think we're all waiting for it. So which is it? So once we establish that point, now we're going to see what Joe Brady does. Now we're going to see what Joe Brady does. Man, cut that jet sweep nonsense out. I hate that play. I can't stand it, man. Maybe once a game you could do it, but golly, when we do it, we fail. So for real, I'm looking forward to seeing a big bounce back from this offense. This offense is what I'll be focusing on. It's not that I don't worry about this defense, because I do, but like there's so much talent on this offensive side of the football. And when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, don't let that brother down. Don't let that brother down, man. That includes Joe Brady. That includes Keon. That includes the rest of the receiving crew. The one guy that consistently helps Josh is James Cook. So establish the run game. Once we establish ourselves and we start pushing and we start doing what we need to do, hopefully it opens things up. But let's just say they take away James Cook, because James Cook seems to be the focal point. Take away James Cook, just like the Patriots did. Have some good corners. Are we going to look the same, or are we going to find ways to get out of that slump and start rocking ass? That's the way I look at these things. So we're going to find out. This is a test for the Bills. How do you bounce back from that lackluster game last week? It wasn't a terrible game, but it wasn't to our standard. It was absolutely not to our standard. I think this Bills team is much, much better at putting something together that is palpable for us. What we saw last week, we got out coached, we got outplayed, we got out hustled, and they just wanted it more. So now that you tasted that L, how do you bounce back? Are you going to show these Atlanta Falcons that you want them more? By the way, they're home. We're not at home. They're home. So now you've got to come with extra sauce ready to get after these guys. All right. So that being said, before I get out of here, I just want to touch on one last thing, and that is who's going to be officiating this game. Who officiates this game? Who's going to be doing some things? So let me jump in and tell you some things that we need to know about this upcoming game against the let me bring this out here. This upcoming game against this very good Falcons defense. All right. And this very good, this good team. I don't say very good, but a good team. So the officiating crew is going to be, give me a second here, Sean Smith. Sean Smith is going to be jumping into this game. Home teams are 47%. ATS, I don't know what ATS is. If you guys know what ATS is, please let me know. In referee Sean Smith's career, home underdogs are 5-9-1. That's 37% in Smith's officiated contest. All right. Let me just share with you guys what I'm looking at instead of reading it to you guys. So just so you guys have an idea. So areas of concern. This is, by the way, if you guys haven't followed, go follow NFL Ref Stats. It's always really cool to see what goes down. So the Bills, here's what it's looking like. The Bills get a better assignment with Smith following that Sunday night game with Hercules, because anybody was happy with Hercules that game. The Buffalo Bills are 8-3 with Smith. All right. So areas of concern. The Bills rank number 1 in offensive holding. The Falcons, on the other hand, are 31st. So use that information how you want to use that information. The Falcons' primary issue are false starts. All right. So although it isn't terrible versus the league's averages, but nonetheless, that's their primary issue. They do a lot of false starts. Maybe there's a lot of motion going on. Maybe it's them getting used to their second-year quarterback. Falcons, good news for both teams is the all-time important offensive holding false start combination accounts for only 27.5% of penalties assessed by Smith's crew. So you won't really see that. The league average is 37%. So these guys are a whole 10% less of calling those plays. So that should be let these boys play type of game. Sean Smith also ranks 16th or 17th in crews in raw per game average via those 2 key penalties. So if that continues on Monday night, a win for both teams and for the viewers. So you're going to see just good football, let these boys play, and away we go. Minimal calls in these key areas contribute to Sean Smith's officiated contest having the highest third down conversions. percentage via rush plays. Now, what does that mean exactly? Not too sure. So, so here's what NFL ref is expecting. He says the Atlanta Falcons lean heavily on Bijan, which I think we all know is going to happen. If they control the time of possession and keep Allen off the field, that will go a long way. I think most teams try to keep good quarterbacks. I mean, you want to beat the Chiefs, you got to try to keep Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid on the sideline, and you have to control, but you have to be able to convert on your third downs, and you have to be doing well. And these guys defend third downs quite well. If you look at their third downs, like I was saying earlier, defensively, they're defending at a 34% rate. So 3 times out of 10, that's what they're allowing you, right? They're ranked number 6 in the league when it comes to that. So we have to keep that in mind in terms of what they're going to bring. So keeping Josh on the field, that means they're going to have to obviously continue to do well on third downs. And by the way, third downs, they're converting at a 41% rate, which is top 10 in the NFL. So that is something that you want to definitely pay attention to. So areas where something has to give, Smith's crew ranked top 3 in awarding automatic first downs via penalties. So that's your personal fouls, that's your holding, your defensive holding. So a lot of those things are going to play a factor. So we've got to be disciplined. That's a discipline thing, right? Discipline. Don't get beat. Don't be doing some nonsense. Play your role. Be physical and do what you have to do. But these guys, they rank number 3 in awarding that. So that is you've got to be disciplined type of situation for me. So both Atlanta and the Buffalo defensive units rank in the bottom 3 for surrendering these type of penalties. So this, again, is going to allow for good football to be played. Unnecessary roughness at its highest per game average since 2019. No crew has called more unnecessary roughness than Smith's over the past few seasons, like I just said, and they rank top 3 in the 2025. So this here, area of concern, Smith crew awarding automatic first downs. We can't be undisciplined. We can't be bozos, right? Thank goodness we don't have Jerry Hughes on the squad, right? That boy used to give these guys up all the time. But we've got to be disciplined, and these 2 teams do it all the time. So maybe it'll wash out. Maybe we don't see it at all. We just need to see what takes place as the rest of the game. So finally, Atlanta has been wildly inconsistent in 2025 and have had 2 weeks to prep for the Bills that we do know. I know that I'm getting away from Josh, and the Bills have performed well with Smith in charge. So Smith, I guess things have gone well for the Bills when Smith is actually officiating. And lastly, the Falcons season are at the crossroads. They're 2-2 right now, so they need a big time performance on Monday night, obviously going up against the Bills. So he's expecting a big time performance, and if things break their way late, possibly with the outright win, Atlanta, he likes Atlanta to upset the Bills with a 4.5. Golly, okay, I didn't see that part. So he's got Atlanta. Obviously, he says the Bills win 27-26, but he says the Atlanta Falcons will cover. So we'll see how that all shakes out at the end. So that being said, I want to share that with you guys in terms of who's officiating, who's doing what. Sometimes I never really used to pay attention to who refs our games, but NFL ref stats, he was saying, yo, hockey leagues is not one of those those officiators that you want officiating your games, because he will screw you guys with this. And he was bang on. He called it out, and you saw what we saw, right? There was a lot of things. I mean, I didn't like blaming it on the refs, but there were some questionable things where, man, like we were getting called for everything. I mean, 11 penalties, that's something that we have to chill. So before I get out of here, here's where we need to clean up and what we need to get out of this. All right. So I do want to show you guys another thing too, but it's the turnovers and penalties. Like we can't turn the ball over. It's just that simple. We can't turn the ball over. It's just ludicrous that we've had 2 games where we're giving the ball up, and those 2 games, one we lost and one was closer than it needed to be. We just can't have that. Number 2, we've got 22 penalties in 2 games. 2 games, 20 back to back, over 10 double-digit penalties, 150, almost 150 yards of yardage given up. Bro, we can't have that, man. We can't have that. So those things we do got to clean up. And lastly, our receivers have to be receiver friendly to Josh, and Josh has got to find these boys. I'm sorry. He does. He didn't have a great game, overshooting some guys, undershooting some guys. So I just need my man, our guy, Josh, to really zone in and get back in the win column and let's get on a run. Let's get back to, getting things going. And I'm positive that they're ready to go. There was Dion Dawkins was talking about, listen, man, that loss was a tough one, but we got together, we laughed, we had good time, we went to go see T-Pain, whatever the case is. But it seems like they're focused and ready to go like professionals should be. And I can't really see any issues going forward. Really, I think we should be able to handle this game, no problem. Now, the one thing I did want to share before I get out of here, and I had it up and I want to go back to it. Michael Penix and what he brings to this squad. I'm just going to read this first before I play it for you guys. So just to kind of give you an idea, let me just run this play here, just so you have an idea of what kind of quarterback. Because I don't know if you guys watch enough Falcons games, because I'm going to jump in to watch some Falcons games. But take a look, just a little play here. From this is their O-line. O-line is a decent O-line, nothing great. But here comes Penix, right? If he doesn't, and he's lefty. Don't forget, he's a left-handed quarterback. He's got a cannon for an arm. So look for those. And that thing is obviously was a drop, but like that boy will whip that ball around the yard, man. So something to absolutely pay attention to is like, listen, he's mobile enough. We got to keep our contain and just have him throw from the pocket. Do not let him outside that pocket. Like I just can't stand it, man. We got to be more disciplined in that regard. So that's something that we want to pay attention to. There was another one that they were showing with him. And maybe I missed it. Was it this one here? And like he will fit these balls in these corners, man. Look at this. Right down the freaking center. Right? Bang. We've got to be all over it. And we tend to leave that middle of that field wide open. I'm not interested in that. We got to really affect him. And if he's going to beat us, he's got to beat us right in here. Do not let him get out. He's got to beat us right in here. And he has no problems throwing it. He has no problems throwing that football. So we got to be on top of his all over that guy. We got to be all over the man. And Bijan Robinson's already he's already thrown in my side. I already don't like that we're playing Bijan. And I have him on my fantasy team. So this is going to be something else. But the thing that I'm paying attention to the most is this Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, I know people want to make fun and say he's a bust and this, that, and the third. He still presents as a matchup problem. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to pay attention. And I mean, the last time these guys played with us, you saw what he did to us. You saw what Kyle Pitts did to us. Stiff arm. I'm out of here. He's athletic. He's big. He's athletic. We got to handle business, man. We just can't let this guy come in and handle business. We just can't. We've got to stay with it and go from there. This is the last one for me. Is this going to Kyle Pitts? Let me see if I got this one here. He's a big boy, man. That's a big receiver. Look at Kyle Pitts. I think this is where he is right here. Yo, one-on-one. There's Drake London down the field, bro. Big physical guy, man. We're gonna have our hands full. On the defensive side of the ball. So I'm probably gonna get copywritten there. But anyway, you guys catch what I'm trying to say with all of this. So that's where we're at right now. So game is gonna be Monday night. It's a double header. Ours is the 7:15 game. For myself, it's gonna be 8:15, and we'll get you going. My man said, "Yo, you're giving them too much credit." You know what? I heard that very same thing when I was talking with the Patriots. You're giving them too much credit. You're giving Diggs too much credit. And Diggs had his way with us. Dibs absolutely had his way with us. Like I said, it's not about the individual himself per se. It's just the scheme and it's just the matchup. It's the matchup. You already have a Trey White that's playing off because he's shook and he probably doesn't have all the confidence left in his leg, or he has all the confidence in the world. He just doesn't have it physically yet. So we're going to have to watch out for that. They move Drake London around a lot. So, and these guys play a lot of cover one, from what I understand. Defensively, I know it doesn't matter with offense, but they move Drake London a lot. So, like, we play a lot of zone. Sometimes we got to get into man. So, if you're leaving him one-on-one with Trey White, I got a problem. And I'm not talking about just Pitts. I'm talking about Drake London, right? So, moving these guys around. And you see, he wasn't in line. He was outside. So now you move guys around. Now you're one-on-one with Kyle Pitts at 6'4". I think he's 6'4", right? 6'4", 6'5". I'm not saying we shook, but like we shouldn't just overlook these guys. Something that should not be done is overlooking the Atlanta Falcons. They're 2-2. They're hungry. They're not trying to fall behind in the NFC East, NFC South, excuse me. And I just want to see where they're at. So 2-2. Let me go back to what they look like for the standings in the NFC South. So the Atlanta Falcons right now, as of right now, they can't afford to fall behind. So they're 2-2, going 2-3 with the Carolina Panthers. Bro, they ain't trying to do that. And they got beat by Carolina. They're trying to get a signature win. They're trying to get a signature win right now. So we need to handle that. We need to handle that. Make them go down to 2-3. We go to 5-1, and we keep it rolling. But they're going to be coming after us, man. They're going to be coming after us. So one thing that we need to see from the Bills is that differential, that plus minus differential. We're at plus 40 right now. I think we lead the league right now when it comes to that. Not even. What am I saying? We don't lead the league in anything right now. So the differential right now, yeah, we're plus 40, and the Indianapolis Colts are at plus 74. I knew we didn't lead the league. Right? Houston Texans plus 47. So we just got to continue to plug away and take away the football. We need to take away the football. We need to stop giving it away. There's 2 games straight that we gave that football away. We need to chill. So keys to this game for me, man, limit the penalties. Have to limit the penalties. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot, having us go back to, I mean, we get a first down, all of a sudden, false start, legal formation. All right, first and 50, second and 50. Like, we're not trying to have that. We got to get our act together. All right. For my Canadians in this chat, if I don't talk to y'all, happy Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving weekend. Lots to be thankful for. I'm living, I'm breathing. The good Lord has preserved my family. We've been blessed. And let's not take this life for granted, man. This little life that we have, don't take it for granted. That drive from here to work or from wherever. Say that prayer. Make sure that God covers you as you go to where you're supposed to be. Be thankful that people are, I mean, your family members are healthy and good to go. And some of us may not have that. Some of us may not have that opportunity to be with our family members, because some of them are on a deathbed right now. Some are in the hospital right now. So I know that Thanksgiving is important for me, right? And I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for y'all, real talk, because we don't have this channel if not for y'all rocking with your boy. You know what I mean? Rocking with my man Zeba, rocking with my man Pierre, rocking with us on Instagram and everything. I mean, everything that we do. So God bless every one of y'all, real talk. Oh, let me get my super chat real good with my man Richie. We will be dancing Monday. Hit that horn, baby. Yo, we will be dancing Monday. I'll hit that horn in just a second. We will absolutely be dancing on Monday, but we got to get this thing ready to go. We got to get this thing ready to go. So, folks, appreciate y'all. You guys have your Thanksgiving next month. I'm having mine, so I'm gonna have my turkey. So, y'all have a blessed weekend, and we will see you guys Monday night for Monday Night Football, man. Prime time yet again, and that's another thing. We're prime time again. We already lost that prime time game. All right, we're done. We don't lose any more prime time games. I'm done with that, because then I got to stay up late. If we do the post-game show, and then we got a whole week to listen to us being on a 2-game losing streak. Like right now, to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan has to be miserable, because you're hearing everybody chew up the Eagles right now. Eagles fans are like, yo, I don't know what's going on. They're blaming this guy. They're blaming that guy. They're blaming this. And by the way, Bills fans, stop asking for the Bills to trade for A.J. Brown. Don't. We got what we need right now on this offense. I truly believe that it's up to Joe Brady and Josh Allen to bring the most out of these receivers. I truly believe that. My man, Terrence Bland said, yo, what's for Thanksgiving? All right. So I'm deciding to do, I bought a turkey, but then I have a whole chicken. I have a huge chicken. My man, he has a free range where he gets his chickens. Anyway, he gave me this big old chicken. I'm like, do I do a chicken this year? Nah, I'll stick to turkey. I'm gonna do my turkey. So we don't do. I don't do geese. Excusez-moi. No geese. No geese over here. I just that's a bird that I'm not familiar with. So I'm gonna stick to my chickens, and I'm gonna stick to my turkeys, and that's about it. But yeah, we're gonna do turkey. I think I might do my mac and cheese again this year. I do most of the cooking in the house. I do like 90%. So you know what I mean, Caribbeans, man. We like savory stuff. You feel me? So let me get shout out to my guy Rob. What up, Rob? I see you, kid. What's happening, brother? I gotta hit that. By the way, let me do that right now. If you guys haven't hit up Nickel City Pod, I was on with my guys last night. Go ahead and hit them up. go watch the show. Actually, as soon as you're done with me, go ahead and rewatch that show. I was a little fiery on that show, I'll tell you that much. But my man and Rob and I, we were lockstep, man. He was like, I don't really have a whole lot to say because this brother just took all my points. My bad, brother. My bad. You gave me the floor. I took it. So Nickel City Pod, if I got that right, go ahead and hit my man Rob and my man DT. And they were good peoples, man. Go check out that show that I did last night with them and keep it rolling. So as for what I'm gonna be eating, it's gonna be turkey, it's gonna be mac and cheese. My girl was like, yo, do you want me to bring sweet potato pie? I guess I don't really do the sweet potato pie, but we could do that. I think this year I might do rice. I usually do the mashed potatoes, but I don't want to do mashed potatoes. I want to do some gravy and I want to do rice. I like rice. I'm a rice guy. When you grew up in a Caribbean household, that is a dish we had almost all the time. And my bad, it's Nickel City Crew, not Nickel City Pod. Thank you. Appreciate that, brother. Nickel City Crew. My man Rob, he was doing big things, man. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna do rice this year. I'm doing rice. I don't care what anybody says. I'm doing rice, mac and cheese. And if you guys have any suggestions for me to make, go ahead and drop them suggestions in here. Gravy, you got to do the gravy, the turkey gravy. That's what I do best. Chef's kiss. And then we'll go from there, man. And all the wife wants corn and veggies and all. I don't do the veggies. I'm a carb and meat guy, and call it a day. I'm surprised I'm not like this. I'm really not. I'm sitting at like on a good day 205, 206. On a bad day, which is gonna be this weekend, I'll probably be like 210, 211. I'm gonna put it on, man. Oh, we definitely have to have some stuffing. Now, call it what you want. I do box stuffing. I do the box stuffing. I go to the stove top and I crack open those two. I don't do it myself. I let Jenna do that. She does that. I don't mind that stuffing. It tastes good. Now, what my aunt will do is she does ground beef and the stovetop stuffing, and then ground that together and then shove that bird with the ground beef. Some people are like, yo, beef in the turkey, so good. Now you got me talking. I think I might do that, man. I think I might do that. I think I might do the ground beef and then with the stuffing and throw that in there and then stuff that turkey. But then it makes the turkey take too long to do. So I might just do that separate. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. My man said no box. Put that stuffing in the turkey. I don't really do the stuffing of the turkey. It makes the turkey take too long. Way too long. I don't know. I got church Sunday. So once I return and that's the thing, and it's a busy day. I go to church, you know what I'm saying? Get the word. And I come back and I'm right into the kitchen to get going. Thank goodness the Bills don't play, so I don't have to be invested into the games too much. So it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. My man said I use hot sausage in my dressing. What? Hot sausage. All right. I'm a duly noted, Terrence. Duly noted. I like that. By the way, this is the portion of the show that is not football related. It is whatever you guys want to talk about. So questions, concerns, what things you want to talk about. This is the time to do it. And I got some time because wifey's not even hounding me. So usually she's hounding me. She's in bed right now. It's 11:30, so she's out. So yeah, this is the time to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Shedeur Sanders being named the number 2 quarterback. Are we happy about this? Was this time? How'd y'all feel about that? I don't even know what to think about that. These guys have so many quarterbacks on their squad. I don't even know what to think. Deshaun Watson, I saw him throwing around the yard. I don't know what he's trying. The owner already said we made a mistake. It's not happening. So I don't know what you're throwing around unless they're trying to trade you. But they're not going to trade you either because you're worth too much. I don't know that. That's a whole mess on its own. So they got to figure that out. So the Browns are going to brown. They're going to do some silliness, and then we go from there. My man said he doesn't do the box. I don't know why you hating on the box, man. He says, yo, our family bakes the stuffing in the turkey stock. Huh? Bakes the stuffing in the turkey stock. Turkey stock. You mean the like the drippings? Is that what you're talking about? And you bake it in that? I mean, that would be tasty, but you gotta have enough to make the gravy. Am I getting that right? Talk to me, real. Talk to me. Yo, either way, Rico, have a blessed turkey day, and to you and your family. Yo, Richie, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you a lot. What are we talking about? Shavers. Somebody said, yo, let's talk about Shavers. Let's talk about Shavers. This guy's not getting an opportunity. I don't think they're giving him a true, like, I'd like to see what Shavers can do. Like, I'm waiting for someone to step up. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for one of these receivers to really just come out there and say, I want something. Like, give me the rock and let me do what I do. And Josh has got to see it. My man's got to scheme it. They just got to be able to do something, because Khalil Shakir is too good to just sit there and just be content with 5 receptions for 40 yards, 50, 60 yards. Like, feature him, man. Like, let's get him over 150 yards one day. Let's have the Khalil Shakir game. Now, this game in particular, I don't think you're going to see a lot from Dalton Kincaid. I'll tell you right now. Kincaid is going to he's going to have a quiet day. This might be the Kincaid Keon day. It might be somebody's going to step up. But these guys do such a great job defending the tight ends that we may not see a big game coming from Dalton Kincaid. So if you're a fantasy guy and you have him, think twice. From what I understand, they're top 5 in defending the tight end and giving up yards to the tight end and catches. So keep that in mind as well. My man said, True Shavers looking promising, doesn't get enough targets. He doesn't get the targets. Same way with Ray Davis. Ray Davis, I know people are poo-pooing on him, and I have been one of the guys that poo-pooed him. And I'm looking at all his carries. They give him carries in just moments where you're like, that's not advantageous to him. Like a 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 1, okay, bring him in there, because you know he'll get that. You know what I mean? That gives him positive reinforcement, keep going. But it's like 2nd and 10, and you get him a run and he gets 1 yard. Get out of here. Get James Cook back in here. But they're vastly different backs. So I can totally see that. Man, I wish Milano career wasn't ruined by injuries. But this is why they voided his last year of his contract. They said, this is your last year, because we're not doing this. We're not doing this with you, man. We got to void it. And I don't blame them. How can you? You can't blame them. Everything that these guys have done is perfect, is right. This is your last year, and this is proving so. This is his 2nd stint that he's not going to be playing. This is his 2nd injury. The fact that we have to bring in back, Balen Spector, can't be trusted. Can't be trusted. At least Dorian Williams is back, but Dorian Williams has not had a good season thus far. So maybe he needs to get warmed up, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Any other questions that you guys want me to hit? Let me know. You got a couple more minutes. Let me just go on through. If you guys haven't gone and checked out my boy Rob with Nickel City Crew, go ahead and do that. And we'll have a good time, man. And no, we do not do geese. We don't do geese. I'll tell you that right now. We ain't do no geese. No geese for your boy. All right. My man said, yo, Reek's going to be doing the robot. Yo, if you want me to bust a robot, I'll bust that robot out for you. And listen, we got to get that win first, baby. We got to get that win. I'm just looking at the chat right now and see what else we got going. Nothing really cracking right now. You guys just love listening to my voice. I see it. I like it. Rico, you think everybody has become our kryptonite? No, has not become our kryptonite. It's just, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm over it. Now I want real guys to step up and make something happen. Because in my honest opinion, the everybody eats, and I've said this to you guys before, I'm gonna say it again. Everybody eats was to refrain Josh from having to target Davis and target Diggs and force the football to them. So when you don't have to force the football to, your bona fide top receivers, and allows you to go to whoever the heck is open, it minimizes having to force the football. It minimizes your turnovers and allows you to just do what you do and play free. And it worked. It worked because it allowed us to go on a streak of putting 30 points per game. Everybody was touching the football. The ball was moving. It was cool. Until we got to the point where we needed somebody to step up and be the guy. And we couldn't find it because it was everybody eats. But there comes a time where you got to get your best player the ball in the toughest moments. We had that with Diggs, and it worked. We don't have that current guy right now. So that's why I'm done with this everybody eats, because at one point you're gonna have to find your guy that you trust most. When you went to Tom Brady and the boys, when he needed to play, you know who he's going to, and he doesn't give a rat's that you know who he's going to. Gronkowski was his guy, and Gronkowski is going to the Hall of Fame because Tom Brady knew who his guy was. When I need to count on you, step up. But guess what? Gronkowski was like, I'm your guy. Get me the football and I'll do what I do. So that's on Josh. Josh has got to do it. Josh has got to do it. It's really that simple. You know what I'm saying? And he worked his way to an MVP. So that's why you can't really hate on this whole, everybody eats thing. But I personally am done with it. I'm over it. Everybody eats is for the birds. listen, I need one of these receivers to be the guy that says, okay, let me get going. First week, it gave us a tease because it looked like Keon Coleman was going to be that guy. 8 receptions, 112, and a touchdown. You're like, I bet. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more from Keon. So we'll see. We shall see. My man said hot take, Gronk better than Kelsey. That's not so much of a hot take. That ain't so much of a hot take. Kelsey nice, but I mean, if you're gonna choose both those guys in their prime, that's a no-brainer for me. Al Dosher says, yo, Palmer is gonna have his first big game. Man, am I ever looking forward to it? And then here's the crazy part. On my fantasy, I left an open spot. And I'm not certain on who I want to put in that spot. And here is who I have to decide between. Josh Palmer being one of them. Let me just open my app up here. Josh Palmer being one of them. Okay. Isaiah Bond being another. And who was the other? Oh, yeah. It was between Josh Palmer and Isaiah Bond. Who do I put in? Isaiah Bond was targeted heavily against with Dylan Gabriel. So they're finding you mean some commonality between each other. Palmer just hasn't been the guy. And it doesn't look like it's gonna be anytime soon. And when Josh starts to kind of build something with someone, he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go over here now. So anyway, we'll see. I want Palmer to do well. I've been saying it since the offseason, but so far it's been a disappointment. I haven't really seen a whole lot for me to say I'm excited. I'm not. I haven't seen it. But he's good enough. He's damn good enough. So that's up to Josh. That's up to Josh to get that thing cracking. You know what I mean? That's up to him. All right. Now before I get out of here, I can't get out of here without jumping in and getting you guys sleeper picks from Thursday night's game. Was I right? Was I wrong? Let me show you how your boy did. All right. Let me get this thing open here and show y'all where we're at. So when it comes to, let me crap that open, share my screen real quick, and then we will see, how did your boy do? Did you guys actually make some picks yourselves? You guys let me know. Talk to me here. So let me share my screen real quick. Oh, wrong side. Let me get to my page here real quick. There we go. All right, so let me share my screens just so we can see what takes place. So here's what we were looking at, ladies and gentlemen. So I had Saquon Barkley for anytime touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, did you watch that Eagles game? The Eagles don't look like the same team. Do they look like the same team to you? Like, you got to the point where people are pissed off that this tush push is taking over the league. Well, guess what? Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown, I failed. He did not get a touchdown that game. You know what I'm saying? So like that, I was peeved. I'm not gonna lie. I was peeved. I was like, I can't get anything right. Jalen Hurts, obviously, that was a free gimme. So, I mean, obviously, that's going to go down. Jackson Dart, I said he was going to have less than 175 yards passing. He had 195. Bro, that was a fail. I failed completely, man. Bro, I need to reevaluate my life. I need to reevaluate. This was a bad day. The Eagles are disappointing. They're disappointing, man. They better watch out. They don't go on a 3-game losing streak and the Giants start freaking racking some wins together. I'll tell you that much. So that was one thing that stood out for me. I don't know how you guys did, but I really thought the Eagles were going to do something. Cam Scatterbo is the real deal. That boy's the real deal. I'll tell you right now, if Tracy thinks he's going to get his job back, it's over with. Devin Singletary, he's on his last legs before he's out of the league at one point. I'm saying it's been a good run. It's been a good run. You've had more than 3 years. Usually the 3 years you surpassed the NFL 3-year mark. Yo, you did it. You know what I'm saying? You made some million. You made a couple million in your career. You've been straight. But man, am I ever disappointed about what took place? So folks, go ahead and jump in, get that $100% match with up to $100 using the BF code 25. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been living under a rock, listen, you have free entry at $20 free entry, and there's you don't have to become a member. There's no deposit. There's no deposit to do. There's none of all of that. All that is right there. You got a $20 entry. Yo, it's there for you. Go ahead and get in there. And don't forget to use the BF code BF25 and you're good to go, right? So if you haven't jumped on there, go ahead and jump on there. We're waiting for you. And it's one of the it's one of those situations, folks, that if you're wondering where you're at and where you're sleeping on and where you listen, it's all there. So use that promo code BF25 on the Sleeper app. It's one of the best apps out there. You guys have seen it. I use it all the time. I'm always constantly checking. I was up at 2 a.m. getting ready to get this thing cracking. So I went back down at 4 a.m. I got all the guys I needed. By the way, Haskins, Chiching, I got him. So we're back on it. So use the code BF25 on Sleeper and get yourself a 100% match up to $100 using that Sleeper code BF25. Terms and conditions apply. And you guys know what it is, man. So, folks, that is my time. I appreciate you guys rocking with your boy. And we will catch you guys again on the flip. Let me go back to my original page here and we'll get it cracking. So, and here we are. So let me remove that and get back to what we normally do. So if you guys enjoyed this show, obviously you know what to do. Smash that like. If you are wanting to know when I go live and when Z-Bot goes live and we both go live, you guys know what it is, man. Just go ahead and hit that bell so you know exactly when we go live and we go from there. So if you guys have not gone and taken a look at the Nickel City Crew, go ahead and take a Nickel City Crew. Go and watch that show. It was me, my man Rob, and DT. We were chopping it up on the Bills, and we had a good time, man. So that being said, that's my time. You guys enjoy your rest of your evening, and we'll catch you guys on the flip. It's your boy, and I'm gone.